Okay, Sandeep, I'll get started, okay?
Sure, sounds good.
So, good afternoon, dear students. I want one of you to just confirm me. You are able to hear as well as listen to me.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Voice is audible.
Right. We are here for the second guest lecture series in continuation of what we had in the last week. Today, I'm pleased to introduce Sandeep Agarwal, and he's going to address on the topic trends and opportunities in digital business. About his quick capsule, and I think because you know about his name, some of you would have already maybe scanned his profile onto the LinkedIn. In case if you have not done it after the session, I request you to do it. Currently, Sandeep is Executive Vice President of Visionet Systems Inc. and he is also the author of a book which is acronym P.R.I.D.E, that is Practice Guide for Leading to Success in Professional Career and Life. And he has also been conferred with Indian Achievers Award. And he has a very illustrious history in terms of a professional career, which is spanning for more than 26 years. Of course, it's quite elaborate, but I'll make it crisp because I want you to listen from him and learn rather than me talking about it. I'm sure definitely you'll go through his LinkedIn profile and connect with him also. So of these 26 years, he has worked with the leading companies in ITES space, Happiest Minds, Mindtree, Lucent Technologies, Tata Infotech, and he has helped and guided and kind of supported significantly with a majority of the Fortune 100 companies, especially the domain where to outsource and build the quality teams. And his core expertise areas lies in handling a large size teams and also the clients, then building very professional teams. And probably that is why I'm sure he would have come out with his book to share his experience and expertise and also insights with many of the professional colleagues. And also executing a very large projects. In fact, if you understand, handling a large projects is a different ball game altogether. See, handling a team of 100, 500, or maybe 1,000 is one game, but handling a very large projects is a different ball game together. So even I am eagerly looking forward to get some insights. And of course, another area is he has a deep professional expertise in building the organizations or the teams or maybe the kind of the entire, what we call it as in a corporate language as SBU, Strategic Business Unit. So he has been able to build those from scratch to a scalable heights. You know, scalability and replicability is one aspect which we normally speak about. So with this brief intro, I would request Sandeep to carry on forward and share his expertise to the young and upcoming managers. They are just in second week of their journey. So share your expertise on global IT and technology trends in the digital business. Friends, what I can say, digital is the name of the game today. You take education, last 15 months, we are completely driving it on digital platform. If you look into business, everything is driven on business. Even so much so, you only marriages are not happening, but otherwise connections for the marriages are happening. Probably those are the 3 points. I'll just set it as a tone on a lighter tone, Sandeep. So that's the context with which I leave the floor open to you. Please go ahead.
Great, Dr. Nandesh. I think thanks for this opportunity, and it's always a pleasure to talk to the students. Right, you basically get a chance to again go back to history where you came from, and it's always nice to share the experience and also learn from you. Actually, today's the whole new yug, what we call it, actually is all about actually the new age people, right? You see the young CEOs coming in and the young management coming in and disrupting the whole game, right? Today, what the Zomato is doing or CultFit is doing or Paytm is doing, it's all about a young breed coming up, taking up management, key challenges, and creating a particular niche in a particular segment where they could actually go and disrupt the industry, which was there for long years, actually running for long years and having actually built over 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, and it's even 50 years. They are disrupting within a couple of years, and so that's the name of the game today. And I'll just touch upon what is happening in this digital world, because I know you are management students and you come from different backgrounds. But the interesting fact will be actually whatever field you choose, whether you do an entrepreneur, you do a corporate world, or you get into anything. Probably at least going forward, digital is something that you will have to live with, whether you like it or not. It is something that you'll have to live with. Any particular segment that you today take, any industry, if without digital, it is impossible to imagine how that particular industry would operate. So it's extremely important that you all are connected in the digital space as much as you will learn about the management technique in the next 2 years, and really create your own differentiators in terms of actually being that odd people out who have that particular niche of understanding the digital, understanding the business, and taking all that learning to do a well-rounded management. So that's what my initial note would be. I will not bore you through the whole presentation, but I just wanted to share a few slides with my thoughts and then probably open up for an interactive discussion. I would love to have a lot of questions and answers, and as much as possible, I can share my experiences and learnings with all of you. So with that, want to just check if my presentation is visible to everybody.
Yes, yes, it is.
Yes, sir.
Please go ahead.
Okay, great. So if you see my first slide, it is all about exponential digital. And I wanted to actually leave this particular thought process with you. There is enormous studies being done for the Fortune 500 and Fortune 1000 companies. And Fortune 500 companies started almost in 1955 when they started looking at Fortune 500 and looking at the top companies. Today, possibly only 40 or 50 of that particular companies, which was there 55 years ago, is still exist, and rest is actually either bankrupt or not to be seen at all. Means their name, shame, fame, everything is gone, which really gives you a perspective that it's not about just reaching a Fortune 500, but if you don't change with the technology, you don't change with the need of the market, and you don't really actually go with the speed of the innovations that are happening, you are going to be a lost company in no time. So this is a record that in 2015, 52% of the companies in the Fortune 500, which was there in 2000, are no longer there. And if you look at 2021, where we stand today, it's almost 70% of the companies are not there. And with the current churn rate, it is assumed that whatever companies that you see as the top guys in today, when you are actually going through this particular firm, in the 10 years, half of those companies, meaning 250 companies of that, will be replaced by new age companies that are going to come and replace them. So that is what I think you guys have to really look at, because it's a real indication of a challenge, but at the same time a big opportunity that lies in front of you. It doesn't mean that you need a 40 years experience or a 40 years company to run to come to that particular stuff. Today you can think about an idea, think about a value proposition, think about the market, and really build up something that you can actually replace even the Fortune 500 company within no time, right? And that's where I think you guys will have to really focus and start looking at those kind of opportunities. So this was a quote by Jeff when he was the CEO for General Electric. It's an old quote, but I still like it because what he said in 2014 is much more becoming truer now, and it is basically becoming the perspective. So it's basically GE that time was basically called as an industrial company, and he, while addressing his particular team, he had basically said that if I want to actually look at this particular stuff, I want to call that industrial company as a software and analytics company, because industrial is now basically just a line that you actually put, right? Everything else, right from understanding customers' behavior patterns to basically understanding the product roadmap, understanding what is the need is, what is the customization, what is the personalization, how your logistics would work, how you can actually derive the customer experience, happiness, all will come only if you have the data of your particular products with you. And like Mukesh Ambani rightly said, the data is the new oil. And that's where actually every company is trying to modernize. And the only way that they could do is going digital, right? And that's a big opportunity for all of you guys to actually be that particular players. And I'll talk about some of the new roles that are emerging and how you could play a big role in terms of that. So this is VUCA. I know all our management students, who everybody knows what a VUCA is: volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous. But what COVID has done actually in the last 1.5 years is made VUCA a lot more VUCA, right? So earlier, at least things were going into some predictions, some particular stuff. Industry knew what rate they were growing and everything. But I think VUCA has changed. The COVID has changed everything that today people would have not even imagined, right? People would not imagine an industry being run by work from home. IT companies would not have imagined that 150,000 of their employees who needed a campus, who needed a place to work, today can work actually and without any disruption to the client, to the business, to the teams, everything. The work is getting delivered with 100% work from home. This is in the dreams of dreams. No management or no leadership would have actually even thought that that could be a particular possibility one day that we would into that particular situation. What is also done with respect to this is COVID has.
Can I request everyone to be on the mute, please? Be careful on that. Let us not affect the flow of Sandeep and also disturb other seriously interested students. It's my request. Sorry for that interruption, Sandeep. Thank you.
No problem. So I was just talking about the COVID, and so it's a very different perspective, and I would say that you will be kind of first lot of management who would come out, who will have to address management from a different perspective, right? Today, actually, HR, whatever HR was taught before, or whatever finance was talked about, was pretty much in the frame of a particular organization, right? And that is actually the boundaries of those organizations have gone way beyond what people could imagine. So the new style of management, the new style of leadership is all going through a big change. And I hope that you will become the first-hand managers to handle that kind of change when you come out in 2 years' time. And the biggest impact of this digital world is everybody has, whoever was not on the digital mode, this particular COVID has brought them into the digital. They had mobiles. It's not that they didn't had mobiles before. Everybody was using mobile and stuff like that. But the way the mobile was getting used and now what today mobile gets used, it's a very different thing, right? Even a Thelawala outside would be actually accepting a Paytm or a Google, which he would not even have dreamt 1.5 years that he would go into that particular way of doing a digital business for himself, right? So it's basically we have to recalibrate everything, recalibrate the way we work, recalibrate the workplace, recalibrate the leadership that we are going to bring in. So everything is going to go through a very big change. So I'll cover 6 different aspects, what I think you guys should look at, and what is going to be the biggest change that is going to happen between workplace, and workflows. And the 6 critical things are automation. Automation is going to be the norm because people have realized that if we face COVID again, the fundamental thing is, can my business run without disruption, right? And this was never a thought before, but now it is possible because of 2 reasons. One, people have found out that digital and automation is possible to the smallest of the workflows that they do in the business. It is quite possible. The collaboration tools that we use today, we are using Zoom, and the increased rise of the collaboration actually is making the distant teamwork being very possible, right? So automation is the name of the game, and it's going to be at a very different leap if when in the next 2 years what we'll see. Health and safety, which was just a particular consideration probably in some high value industries where it was a chemical factory or anything, but it's no longer just limited to that particular thing. It is going to come in individuals in terms of how the workplace of tomorrow is going to be there. There will be huge consideration of health and safety that's going to come in the workplace. The connectivity, you see about 4G, you see about 5G and things coming in. So 5G was actually being talked about just 2 years back that it will be all over the place in 2030. But suddenly in 1 year, people are saying that we will actually kill the 5 years of 5G adoption, and that 5G adoption will happen now worldwide in 2025, which is just 3 years or 3.5 years down the line, right? So that is the speed at which actually the connectivity requirements are going to be there. Because if work from home is a possibility, then you have almost 150,000 workplaces compared to one or two workplaces that the company would have it. Innovation and research, we saw that right from the pharma industry, which has taken the leap on providing the vaccine in terms of the innovation and research, which was supposed to be a 10 years, 15 years game. People are now doing at 1 year with all the trials, with all the particular stuff. People are coming up with the innovation, and there is going to be enormous stress on this particular innovation in every area of work. How are things going to be made possible actually? And new challenges will come, which will require innovation, and people will come, right? So even if you look at drone, actually, drone was actually supposed to be just a camera that was actually taking photos in your marriages and every social function. But now drone is kind of considered as a last mile connectivity and last mile logistic support, where your Amazon could actually be able to deliver your particular product probably in a year's time at your home directly through a drone, right? So that is where the technologies are moving in a rapid space that you will this innovation will require an excellent condition. The other innovation you see in the e-vehicle actually with electric mobile vehicles becoming a prominent norm, and the innovation you just see the Ola Electric first day registration of 1 lakh people actually coming and registering for the Ola Electric itself says a lot about what an innovation could do in a very different space, right? And the overall thing actually it crossed even Mahindra and Mahindra, which is operating at 20, 25 years in the industry. He was basically surprised in the terms of kind of the requirement or the people registration that happened on the first day, right? And that's where I think the innovation is going to take a center stage. Work from anywhere is there, whether COVID is there or not there. I think you all will need to get adjusted from working from anywhere actually. That would mean that you'll have the best of the connectivity, you'll have the best of the tools, and your ability to communicate virtually with the teams, whether in India or abroad, has to be that polished, right? And that will make a difference because people are not going to have too many face-to-face meetings, and you will be required to present yourself as in person while doing a video conference and stuff like that, right? So I think it's going to be extremely important that your communication skills with respect to a virtual environment becomes extremely important. Your body language, your way of talking, your way of answering, and especially the listening ability, because in a group like this, though we have muted everybody, it doesn't happen when we are doing a client call where everybody is kind of unmuted and there will be cross talks, but you still need to be actually positioned yourself to make sure that you are listening as at the same time participating and making your presence felt. And with all these opportunities and stuff like that, the biggest challenge that some of you, I think, should look at it very seriously is the area of cybersecurity, because everything that I've talked about in the first five is opening more doors in terms of the cybersecurity issues that are going to come, because everything is exposed. Your data is exposed, your physical presence is exposed, your everything that you can think of today. If your mobile number is available with the business of any business, they can in fact get your life history from your mobile phone. That's where I think things have moved in, and cybersecurity is going to be the biggest threat, and companies and countries who are going to be cybersecurity focused are going to be the next generation leaders as well. So the expectation, I think I would say actually with going all these particular trends that you see, it's highly self-driven, because you are not going to get what we used to get it going to a particular campus, sitting there in the corporate for 3 months of assimilation, training and everything. The today's generation would require a highly self-driven aptitude, right? If you want something, you need to know how to get that particular stuff, whom to connect, how to navigate, what communication you need to use, what channels you want to use, and just be self-driven. Sense of accountability, because that's where you'll be there. You will not know when you're joining a company, and you will not know when you're leaving a company. So sense of accountability remains with that particular stuff. And if you are not going to be accountable, very high likely chance that you will not even know when you will be relieved from the company. Right? Rely less on training, because it's everywhere. Everything is available, right from actually all the social channels to all the learning platforms like Udemy. Everything is there. So don't wait for a training to be organized by an organization. Once you join the corporate, you should be able to get your path and your training actually done by yourself. Being proactive, being communicative, and being a problem solver. So these are another traits that we expect now for the new generation to basically, once you come out of the management and go to corporate, these are the traits that you'll have to see. What are the industry expectations? We want lifelong learners, right? And the critical skill, more than anything, it's not important how much management you know or how much important the programming or skills or digital technologies you know, but the ability for learning, unlearning, and relearning is going to be the next generation trait, right? So if you are doing a particular thing in a particular way today, you need to see that even if you have learned it, you have experience on that, but if you don't change, it will disrupt. Somebody else will come and disrupt you, right? You see the automation players like UiPath and Automation Anywhere, they are challenging even the Microsoft and Amazon and Google in terms of the automation path that they are creating actually. And if big companies don't unlearn, then some of these particular companies will take a center stage. And the ability to relearn, right? How quickly you are able to relearn. So it's not about learning once and then applying it, which was the norm in the industrial era, that you learn a particular skill, you are actually skilled, you become a pilot, you become an industrial supervisor, and then you go onto the field, and probably 30 years you are going to do the same job, maybe do it something better, improvement areas and stuff like that, Six Sigma and everything that you will look at. So that is how you are actually doing the learning. But today's thing is not about that. It is about unlearning and relearning everything that can be done in a different way. The world's complexity demands critical thinking. I think there's nothing much to talk about it. It will require you to think a lot. It is not a rote learning that you can carry from management books and then basically apply it onto your corporate world, right? You will require very, very critical thinking in terms of the problems that you are going to solve and the solutions that you are going to propose. Industry need images, like I said, communication is going to be the single most big leap where you can differentiate it compared to anybody else. So while you're doing this particular management, I would say focus on the communication and make sure that it is getting to a perfect mode. And technical skills remains crucial. It's about digital. Don't ever think that if you don't know technology, you can have a smooth ride either on your own entrepreneur journey or on the corporate journey. You will be actually have to know digital. You might not know programming, but you need to know what's happening in the digital world. I will not cover, this is a busy slide, but again, a slide that it will give what is happening by 2030, right? So this is a slide from 2020 to 2030. No need to read and get it, but I'll just cover what is going to be the technologies that are going to make a difference. So right from artificial intelligence, which is plus 55% growth expected in the next 2-3 years, right? So that is where it's making a change. Blockchain beyond cryptocurrencies. I'm sure you understand cryptocurrencies, but blockchain is going into various other logistics, supply chain use cases, financial use cases, and that's going to be another big driver in terms of the technology innovation. Robots are going to come, whether we like it or not, and drones is also called a robot. Robot is not just a robot, but anything autonomous vehicle or drones is referred to as robot, and they are going to bound to come in your normal life, right? Immersive media, whether it's a VR, AR technology, it is going to come actually, because the more virtual experience you want to give, you want to go to a site, visit the site, select your particular plot, select your particular interior. Today, you don't have to actually visit physically. You can actually get the whole life experience of that particular place in sitting and in your room, right? So that's where the immersive experience is going to take a center stage. Voice assistants are going to be norm. So today you see chatbot. Once you go to a financial page or a banking experience, you see a chatbot coming in. They are still growing. I would say they have not come to a stage where they are actually very efficient at this point. But these are going to be replaced by voice assistant, where Alexas and everybody is going to take center stage. So you can actually search items, you can talk to particular agent, you can actually find out from the web page actually. So as a human, you will talk to machine and get all you want to get it actually. I want this particular stuff and Udemy course from this one, and it's kind of available to you. So everything is going to be a voice assistant base that is there. So it's going to be a personal, I would say, a personal secretary that is available for you all the time, and everything that your mobile or laptop or any other machine or any other device would do, is just respond to your voice rather than actually searching, which was the key thing in the last decade. The other one is going to be your edge computing. Again, something that you should not forget, because with the IoT becoming mainstream and every device becoming a connected device, your edge computing is going to be far more reach. So you need to understand the components of the edge computing. And faster, better internet. I talked about 5G and fiber coming in. Fiber is already at home with a very, very rapid speed. And we will see the 5G actually taking a center stage in the next 2-3 years. Proximity tech is another one, which basically is, this is related to your local presence stuff. So when you go near a mall or you go near a particular city, the things that is happening in that city, you come to know immediately, right? That's what the proximity tech is going to bring in. You know what movie is getting played, you know what park is available for you, you know whether that the tickets are available, you should go inside and watch it and stuff like that. So all these things are still unresolved problems, and these are big opportunities for you guys to make a dent with a new idea and really take a different leap to your own journey. Right, the game changing business model. So while the technology is evolving, the business models are also evolving. There is enough and more that we could see actually today as well on a changing business model. But this is for which disrupted everything. Uber disrupted the taxi business, Facebook disrupted the media business, Alibaba disrupted the inventory business, and Airbnb disrupted the hotel business. Right, so these are something which was a disruption. But again, these guys have absolutely zero assets. So initially people used to think that if I have asset, I create asset, then I can make money out of that asset, right? But technology is one thing that if you create a platform, you can ride on somebody else's asset and still make money actually without spending anything from your particular stuff. So all the financial transactions or sites that you see today, it's relying on this particular simple principle that you don't have any of your inventory, you don't have the bank, you don't have customers accounts, but you still can offer the digital platform where customer can come transact and you can still make money, right? So this is the biggest change in terms of the business models that are happening. And what is the new business model which is tried by startup ecosystem? Global innovation. So we have innovative products, which is, of course, the run of the mill. This is what is happening for the last 20-30 years. But what is changing is the rental economy, right? Earlier, car used to be a purchase. Nobody used to think that I can get a new car on a rental basis. Today, you can actually get a new car on a rental basis. You can get clothes on a rental. You can get a farm equipment. You can even get a furniture. You can even get a everything that you can think of is going to go on a rental way, right? And that means more customers that you will have, which are basically taking rental from your space. And this workspace also, right? Because of COVID, I don't think new companies or new age companies are going to have their own campus, but they will actually adopt more and more rental workspace to have the people come and work for them. B2C subscription model is on the ground. So whether you look at juices, products, contents, your daily essentials being delivered from anywhere, every single portal that you look at it, these are subscription plans that are changing again the model of the game. So products are being supplied to you on a subscription plan. And on demand is the new thing. So when you want it, where you want it, and how you want it will all be personalized and given to you at your particular demand. So these are some of the new business models that are emerging, and most of the startups are operating in one or two of these spaces. So what is there for you? I think if you look at the technology world, there is the customer experience, or what we call it as a user experience. So basically people who see from a customer's viewpoint and see how the products and stuff can be built from a customer's viewpoint. There is a backend technology that is required actually to build a product or a service. And there is a business aspect which comes in between in terms of actually how the business dimension of this particular product is kind of taken shape, right, as the models of doing business. But what is emerging is a product manager role. And I think most of you guys being an MBA and having a sense of some bit of technology, some bit of customer experience, and some bit of business understanding, you will be that one person who will be able to bridge the gap between what a real business requires to what a technology provider or the engineers can deliver And the critical role in between is this management, which basically will take that particular concept phase of the business to a reality phase, which a technology team can deliver. But neither business can do that today, neither technology can do that today alone. But the guys like you who are going to be the next generation MBAs are going to be the thin line who is going to cut and basically create a particular view of that solution or view of that particular product to basically be delivered by the engineering team, right? So that's where I think it is something that I think most of you should look at it. I'm sure some of you will go to HR, some of you will go to finance, some of you will select some streams. But I really encourage that if really somebody wants to make a big dent in terms of what they would bring in terms of the corporate or entrepreneurship, this role is going to be one of the most prominent roles in the next industry in demand, I would say. So what is success? Success is basically nothing but speed and agility. So whoever delivers at that speed and agility is basically is the company that is going to drive. So if somebody says that I'll take 6 months to build a product, probably there is no room for that, right? Today, Tesla's particular electronic system is updated on a minute basis, while still Mercedes and BMW requires you to go to the workshop to download the electronic content and deliver during the part of the service, right? So this is the game change that basically is happening. And I think we just need to go with the wind, I would say, actually, in terms of attaining the success. This is a quick book I've written, actually. It's meant for young entrepreneurs to lead a professional life because, yes, technology is important. Yes, leadership is important, but all needs to come with the right attitude. And I've just covered in my book what does attitude brings it, right? Today, we are regarded in the industry. People talk about us because not only what we have delivered and what we have achieved, but because of the way we have done those things and way we have achieved, right? And Mindtree and Happiest Minds, two of the longest company that I have been in, you would see that particular stuff today. Management is regarded as the best supported management in terms of what they have delivered to the industry, right? So I think that's what will carry your weight. So human values will take a center stage, irrespective of the technology and the leadership that we will build. So with that, I'll pause and possibly open up for questions, and any questions around the topic or anything else also is fine. And it will be good to get some real good questions.
Yeah. Thank you, Sandeep, for giving that insight. Students, what we'll have, like what we have done last time, you can keep the questions put in the chat, or you can raise the hands and I will pick you one by one, and then you can put the question to Sandeep directly. I'll just help you by moderation so that it will become a very smooth process. Sandeep, first question from Mr. Raj. Why Facebook and other social media are being a part of their content conflict in Australia? As you said, Facebook does not have an, it has been little incomplete.
Yes. So again, there is issue of privacy. Raj, right? So thanks,
Yeah,
Raj, for breaking the ice and being the first one to put it. It's always hard to be the first person to raise the question.
You said speed and agility, and he was there. I would look at it like that.
I should have actually.
I sincerely, Raj, I mean by it. It was so timely, perfected.
I know, actually. I should have given an offer letter, actually. Raj, so what is happening is actually Facebook is getting into, so they don't have the content, right? The Australia thing that if you look at it, the issue is about they are getting the content at that speed and agility from all the big media players on that. And that media business is getting into a questionable state, because if Facebook can deliver that particular content in a record time, then basically nobody would like to purchase a paper or purchase a digital content on a news media. And that's where the particular thing is. It's related to privacy as well, because they don't have that particular thing. They are actually entering into a privacy space. And that's the thin line border between what Facebook could do, right? Facebook like company or WhatsApp like company is good. If you look at WhatsApp also, the issue that they are dealing with the privacy today, you have all the content, what a person is doing, how you use it, what you share with the other businesses becomes as much important. And that's the fight that they are trying to actually make it to still be an independent and neutral player. But if you see, they don't charge you, they charge the businesses for their particular stuff, right? They today operate because businesses make money, put money on Facebook and you get it for free. That's the business model. So they have to actually keep on innovating and keep on delivering on that particular stuff. So the issue is more about privacy and what content is there. So they media companies are okay to have a delayed content, like today's newspaper content can be delivered tomorrow, but they are not okay that before the newspaper is highlighting or media is highlighting, Facebook has already given that particular message and shared it with the citizens. So that's the conflict that's happening.
Okay, there is one
Thank
more
you, sir.
question related to crypto finance and cryptocurrency. I am clubbing questions from Rishit and Dhruv and also Alok. The whole question revolves around like this: what's the future of cryptocurrency, and what is the future of cryptocurrency in India? And also the another question which is coming very close to that: how do you see the crypto finance in next 5 years? So it's all revolving around cryptocurrency and crypto finance. They would like
Yeah,
to
absolutely.
probably curiously know about what is the future.
Yeah. So cryptocurrency, I think it's an innovative stuff, right? I'll talk from a technology point because I'm not a government body to come out with regulations on a cryptocurrency and what is applicable in India and what is the legal means for that and stuff like that, right? So I'll not talk about that, but from a technology perspective, if you look at it, cryptocurrency is the first real use case of blockchain technology that has been put into action with a particular model that yes, beyond your currencies that are there worldwide, can we have a neutral currency where you can go and buy anything or you can go and visit any country without any boundaries of that particular stuff. So the entire exchange business, which actually is rupee to dollar conversion and dollar to euro conversion and stuff like that. So somebody has thought about cryptocurrency being the next currency, which is completely seamless and not depend on the international borders. Now there will be a lot of things actually because every technology has some headwinds that comes in, and the biggest headwind in this, I would say, is from the exchange platforms, which are these big platforms today. There are millions and trillions of dollars of transaction that happens today on the currency exchange platforms, right? And that business is being questioned, or if cryptocurrency really takes a center stage, then that business will be disrupted, and hence there is a headwinds to that. So countries are cautious, people are cautious, legality is cautious about that particular use. So I'm sure it will see in some shape and form becoming the currency where you will be able to actually in some time in the future just operate from a cryptocurrency, travel from one country to another, make your purchases and everything. And there would be laws and things that would come around that actually. So definitely there is a future. But what it also proved is blockchain is a great technology. And now with that financial tech, we can move it to Logitech, we can move it to Agritech, we can move it to InsurTech and all the other techs that would happen. I think blockchain is the future in terms of actually finding the right source and the right truth in terms of the transactions that would happen.
Sandeep, next question I'm taking from Parth. What is the scope of business analytics in corporate world? Maybe just I'll add one small additional dimension to him. See, students, if you look currently, as Sandeep and myself are interacting with you, there are 55,000 posts lying empty in the market in corporate world, but there are no skilled talent. And
Yes.
you know, you are just about hardly 140, 150 people. Build up your skills on business analytics, and the whole global and corporate world is going to welcome you down the lane of about a year. Okay, what do you, Sandeep? You know, that
No,
was just
absolutely. I
point I
think that's a
wanted to add to them.
perfect answer, Dr. Nandish. I'll just add saying that basically today it's not that people are not available, but the right skill people with the right mental focus is not available, right? So we interview 20, 30 people who are available and we select one out of that particular stuff just because the basics of business analyst, and I talked about what a business analyst is, right? Understanding the business problem, analyzing it, and converting into what a technology would understand, what a technology architect would understand. If that conversion doesn't happen properly, it's just in the name that you are a BA. But if you're not able to actually think through and say, what is the solution approach that I can take for this particular business problem, then everything stops there. Companies today are succeeding because of the best BAs, best product managers that are available, and the best consultants, which all three is comes from a solid MBA background, right? So it's a huge demand in that particular space in between the business and technology that you will have a role to play.
Okay, there is one more question from Anuj. Where do you see India in this upcoming technological revolution, especially in entrepreneurship and startups? And what steps should be taken to become a leading country in this technological industry? Means basically it's talking about technological revolution, how we should be spearheading.
Absolutely. No, I think India is doing all the right things actually, right? If you look at all the new IPOs, actually, I talked about Zomato, I talked about Paytm coming in and stuff like that. This are technology innovations actually. It's not that Zomato is profitable or a Paytm is profitable. Just look at their balance sheet and you will understand actually these are loss-making companies, right? But innovation is the name of that particular stuff, right? How quickly you are able to get as much people onboarded onto a platform is the name, and why people are putting money is because the data, and data, like I said, is the new oil, and the company which has the maximum data of the consumer today is going to ride on that, right? You have muscle power of what you can do today. Zomato, if decides to do something else, or Paytm gets into a banking system and stuff like that, they can today do it because the number of people that are subscribed to that particular stuff is a huge database, which is a huge market. So I think innovation wise, India is going to become one of the strongest innovation play. If you see the number of startups that is happening in India, just year by year, it is exponential growth, right? And if you'll see the startups getting into IPO, which is a particular testing of the pudding, I would say actually that somebody has tested that, somebody has delivered a product or a service and gone IPO means it has made it a success, right? And those things you will see it more and more now happening from the Indian companies, right? And the Ola Electric, you see actually that I think I will not be surprised it will be seen in a worldwide market in 4 or 5 years time, right? So it will be an India product going into a world market. So definitely innovations are possible. Innovations are doing it. Reliance is coming with its own 5G network, own 5G phone that is completely made in India. So every company is now thinking in India country that how we can create products, innovation here, which can be delivered to the world.
Okay, you mentioned about Ola Electric. There is one related question by Saurav on that. Is it really possible to electrify all the vehicles in about next 10 years? As many states in India are very backward and even there is no basic electricity supply in their houses as well. You know, it's kind of a paradoxical scenario, how to deal with it. But that's a nice question.
Absolutely. It's a nice question actually. And the same thing was talked about if 10 years back when mobile was getting penetrated, he said mobile was for the urban market, right? And that was huge comment that who in rural will take a mobile? We don't have a basic connectivity. We don't have a basic electricity available where I'm going to charge, what I'm going to do and stuff like that. So that was the same thing that happened when the mobile initiatives happened. Same thing happened when the cloud initiative happened. People were talking about cloud is bad. You are sharing the data on the public space and everything. So every new thing that happens, you will have people, because the human nature is basically looking at things, what is happening and how things is happening, right? But change is something that is not digestible, or it takes time from a human mind to basically think about that particular change. So if Ola Electric can do it, you'll see that at the same time when the bike is getting rolled out, he's creating a network of probably more than 100,000 network points, which will be launched on the same day when the Ola Electric is getting launched. So the entire ecosystem is coming at every hub, every single corner. If your telecom can reach, your fiber can reach, your broadband can reach to the wildest places that you can imagine, I'm sure there will be innovations on the electricity as well, and solar being one of them, that is going to take electricity to the backwards of point there, right? And you'll see that we will be power efficient because of the wind power and solar power that we will be able to create in the remote villages.
Sandeep, shall I add one point here just to
Yes.
See, students, many a times we always work, the human psychology works with a suspicion rather than with an exploratory approach. You know, when you look into the Tata Indica launched, everyone laughed whether Tata will become successful. But today,
Yes.
the Jaguar and Land Rover have been bought. And, in the history of the global business world, India went and bought in the best companies in the world, which are got a history. See, it's all a question of time. Keep your inquisitiveness on and always take the new challenges. And I think you could become the creators. I would look at it
Yes.
from that angle. See, many of you are engineers and you start looking at that as a problem statement and start working upon it. That's the way I look at it.
No,
Uh,
absolutely. And wherever you go in the corporate world or entrepreneurship, right? I think one thing that you'll have to is look at it as things differently, right? Because if you are going to be the same person that are questioning first and then basically trying to implement and everything, you'll never be that differentiated person, right? You'll have to question because most of the innovative things is a laughing point in the initial point unless it really is shown and demonstrated and proven that it will work.
okay, there is one question. I'll just club it with his friend. Vishal is telling, where do you see the Indian market in next 5 years? The related question from Gansham is, new channel shows that India's economy is not doing well. What's your view? And is there any truth in all sense in whatever these new channels are claiming? I am clubbing both of these because, bringing the worlds from the
Yeah.
two different perspectives.
No,
Over to you.
I think you have seen how India has actually faced COVID, right? Yes, we did had a problem in the COVID second phase for 2 months and stuff, but overall, actually, how we have faced COVID in terms of the innovations, in terms of the challenge, in terms of what really happened, I think India is one country that is going to be leap forward, right? One, it's a trustworthy country compared to a neighboring countries actually, which still lacks trust. Today, the talent pool, there is no shortage, right? The number of the students that we are getting out in the engineering college, management college, health college, everywhere. I think the number, I don't think any other country has that particular capacity that can beat the talent pool. We are the young population of the world, right? And that's what India is being looked at. So if you have the power of the young population, you are of the power of the scale, and same time you are a market for the global companies to come and reach out to you to sell their products because no product will be successful today if they don't launch in India. That's something that you'll have to understand actually, right? That India is a huge market for this particular companies of global brands. So when you have all this particular power, there is absolutely no thing to basically even question what is the possibility that lies in the future, right? Of course, COVID happened and everything happened, and it could have derailed little bit some of the things that was in the plans. But you could just imagine the state of affairs that would be there with such a wide spectrum of things that we have in control, which we are going to give it to the world, right? So, of course, I see a very, very positive momentum in the next 5 years, both in terms of the economy as well as the growth. And especially for your career, as soon as you are passed out, I see an enormous opportunity laying in front of you.
Okay, there is one more question on security aspects. What kind of a security threats we are going to face or encounter, basically in the light of whatever we are seeing, especially with the increased digital marketing or digital initiatives. That's how it is.
Yes. So both all technologies, not only digital. Digital, of course, is cyber security attacks that we talked about actually, because your personal computer or official computer at home is at risk. Earlier, there was firewalls in the perimeter and the boundary that you, and most of these particular products were developed considering in mind that you will be able to create a zone within your physical space and protect your employee, protect your data, protect your particular stuff. But that's all gone out of the wind, right? So all these products have to be relooked at, redone at from a security perspective in terms of what is that particular security that they would have to enable. Again, a big innovation that could happen. The other biggest threat is the drone. You would see actually now as drones are getting used in the real good scenarios, drones are also getting used in the bad scenarios, right? Most of the terrorists doesn't want to actually use drones in basically avoid a person going there, but use a drone to make attacks and things like that, right? And then you'll see all that particular things also taking an innovation. So the more the innovations will happen on this particular side, of course there will be minds who would think of negative scenarios for those innovation and try to bring those particular things in project. It's just that the question of who wins it and who has the particular race first, right? If the attacks are going to happen, but if you are able to prevent attacks at that rapid space, then we'll not see it. But if the attacks are not able to be prevented, then you'll find a tsunami of attacks that could happen, because everything is connected today. Actually, the entire network grid or electric grid could fail today just with one particular disruption on the data that they could do. So that is the possibility. But again, there are huge systems who are taking care of those security as
well. Okay, there is one more question which is coming. Means what is the kind of the safety in respect of the secrecy of the information, and how artificial intelligence is going to kind of take away the jobs from the prospective employable graduates? I'm just clubbing two questions together, kind of.
So let me answer the second one. So artificial intelligence, I don't think it's going to take away any jobs, right? It only allows what a machine should do, what a machine should do, and human should do what a human should do. That's where the artificial intelligence is playing a big role. So if you look at industrial era or internet era or whatever era that we have gone through, if you have seen all that eras, there is always a particular stuff that, okay, if industries would come, what a person would do. There is nothing on the person. But somebody has to manage the line. Somebody has to look at the product design. Somebody has to look at the innovation. Machine is not going to do innovation, creativity for you, right? So there are jobs that human would do. Today, unfortunately, there are a lot of repeat and mundane tasks which actually a machine is ideal to do it with, because machines can do it with zero mistake, right? We can actually make sure that there is zero mistakes that happen when a machine does certain things. And if it's a repetitive job, why not? So that's where AI is bringing that particular task differentiation and then giving that particular machines the ability to do those particular automations in the rapid pace with the artificial intelligence, and leaving the tough jobs for the humans to do it, right? And that's where, if you look at autonomous vehicle, right, what is the human doing it? Actually, it's not that human is not in the car. Human is there in the car, but you don't have to drive the car to go from place A to B. A machine can do it, and machine can take you from place A to B. So why a human driver is required to do that? He can do much more other jobs that he would be able to get it. And every single technology brings innovations in terms of the requirement. Today, like I think sir said, there is huge job opportunities that are available, right? We have multiples of 10x with respect to what we can consume today, which is available market scenario for the students to and join the corporate world. So there is no dearth of opportunities there. No job is getting lost.
See, just because technology is coming, just to supplement what Sandeep is telling, just because technology is coming, don't ever be afraid that your job will go away. But you will lose your job only when you do not get adapted to the system. If I can give a simplest classic masterpiece example, when computerization started happening in the banking sector in mid 95 or 2000, people who could not adapt to the technology had a challenge. But people who adapted to the technology, they have had the fastest speed of their career growth, and they have become even chairman and managing directors or general managers heading the technology. So it's all your, earlier Sandeep was telling, there are two things which matter in your career. One is speed, another one is agility. So how fast you catch up with the technology and try to apply it in a most practical context. And second one is how agile you are. Agile is simple. Nothing. Of course, I'm going to come out with an exclusive session next week on agile leadership. Simply stated at this point, you need to adapt to the new situation and quickly do what really makes a sense. Very, very simple. As simple as that. So I think technology is definitely not going to make you outdated. Only you have to become updated. I would put it that way. Don't become outdated. You become updated, you will be the star of the scenario. That's it. I think I'm putting it right, Sandeep, right?
Absolutely. And that's what we call upskilling, actually.
Yes.
The real term there is upskilling. And upskilling means taking you to a different step. One job, how you can do other job and leave the rest of the job for the machines to do it for you.
Okay, now what I'll do is maybe I will work on a fastest finger first philosophy of Amitabh Bachchan, Kaun Banega Crorepati. Now with Sandeep, if two people can come in and raise their hands, I will pick you and you can have a direct question taken to put across to Sandeep. We'll just have that. Okay, go ahead and raise your hand and I'll pick you. Go ahead. Then you can unmute and you can go ahead and ask the question. Okay, Raj, you are again the fastest finger. Go ahead. No problem. That's perfectly fine. Raj, over to you. Unmute and speak.
Hello, sir. This is Raj. Sir, my
Hey,
question
Raj.
is how do we see Ola electric vehicle when it comes to existing segment of other auto companies? Does it provide marketing threat strategies?
Can you repeat the question? What does it provide? Marketing?
Marketing threats, sir. Means other
Marketing threat.
means sir, if Ola launch their own automobile vehicle, then it provides some marketing threats to other existing auto companies or not? Means ki competition. I'm just talking about competition.
Yeah, so it will be there, right? Every innovation will have a competition threat, right? You know Nokia actually, and why Nokia went out of the business when it didn't adopted Android, for example, actually, and is the name of the game today. Electric vehicles is the name of the game. So while Ola is taking a center stage and making it a big, other companies are also coming with the electric vehicles. If some company stands by and says, no, our cars will never become electric and they will ever run on petrol and diesel, if somebody makes that statement, then 10 years that company will not be there in the market, right? Because it's a changing situation, and if you don't adapt to that particular change, it will do it. It's not that other companies are not doing it or getting threat about it. They also have their plans, they also are doing it. Everybody has a space in that particular stuff. It is like speed and agility, who comes to the market first. Same thing Tata could have done it, same thing Mahindra could have done it, same thing Hyundai could have done it. But Ola came and actually just announced a 1 lakh square feet space, which basically will provide Ola electric bikes, and announced it and did a big wow market fundamental on that, right? So that's how it works, and that's how people look upon it. Actually, today, if Ola Electric IPO will come, all of you will be excited and you will invest money on that because you know that this guy will do something differently.
I hope we get that, sir.
Yes, you
Let
will.
us wait and watch. You get ready to contribute. That's it. That's how I look at it.
Absolutely. And
Yeah.
why it can't be a Raj Electric actually, right? Why it has to be Ola Electric? If it,
Then you
if it
go and
becomes
join
Raj.
them as a product manager and take it to the next level. Simple. You become the marketing geek there.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Yeah. Now
Thank you.
that's very nice, Raj. You were the fastest finger both in chat question as well as here. And now, Rishit, kindly go ahead. You have raised the hand. Go ahead. I want one
Yes,
more.
sir. Am I audible?
Go ahead, Rishit.
Yes, Rishit.
Yes, sir. Actually, I had one question regarding the practicality of India right now. So there is a lot of conservatism in the air and in the environment in India, right? So, sir, how can India move forward and become a developed economy by just adopting the growing technology coming from the future or coming in the future? And just how can they actually throw away such conservatism and think in an open way so that they can move forward? That's my question, sir. So how can India just throw away such conservatism towards the future?
So I am not sure, and I would not answer that question in that manner because I don't want to talk about government and the political scenario there. But if you look at it, actually, all the developed countries, the main advantage that the developed countries had was the infrastructure. Whether you take US, you take Russia, you take China and stuff like that, the focus that they had on the infrastructure, right? US, you just go and travel, you'll find every single road being a 6-lane road, right? That's the level of infrastructure development is there. When things are connected at that particular level, you are actually getting developed because your goods, services, logistics is all kind of taken care of, right? And India is actually moving into that direction where infrastructure, if you look at it, 50, 60 years, there was hardly anything actually. You can remember actually what new railway tracks was laid after the British era actually. Just count the number of square feet new railway tracks that was laid. It was not there. Now there is again a focus of infrastructure. And good thing is actually in the technology world, India competes with every single developed nation already, whether it's a 5G technology, whether it's a drone technology. As countries are innovating, India is already at a far leap of that. Whether you take this electric, whether the smartphone that Reliance is going to launch in Diwali, you will see that India will always be one step ahead, because at the technology side, there is no particular difference that somebody is 40 years ahead in the technology and we are just coming in. But as technology is moving, the pace of it moving, India is moving at that rapid space. And young people are taking the leads within that, whether government supports or not supports, young people are coming forward, and all are young entrepreneurs that are coming forward, right? A simple gym that you were used to, just go to Culfit and see actually what is the customer experience change that a Culfit has bought it as an innovation, right? And the opportunity was always there. People wanted to go to the gym. Now people are excited to go to the gym. That's a difference actually. And you have a different market that has been created and opened, right? Zomato created the whole service market. You can order food from the best of the restaurants today at your food. You don't have to go to Taj to have a Taj food at your home. You can today do it with just a delivery boy coming and delivering the food. So that is the name of the innovation. And if you look at the UID and the Paytm and the UPI that India has done, either on Aadhaar or UPI, we are among the first one. There is no other country who has that kind of connected ecosystem on an Aadhaar or a connected ecosystem on a UPI network where business transactions and finance transactions happens. India is among the leaders in that particular space, and we are taking that technology to the world.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you both of you for that question. Sandeep, I just wanted to check. We are at 3:30. How is your schedule? Do you think we can take one or two questions?
Yeah, we can take one or two questions. Should be fine.
Okay.
It's becoming interesting. It's good.
Yes, yes. They are showing interest. We'll take one more question and then we'll go for a wrap up. Yeah. Anybody would like to raise the hand, or you would like to put it in the chat, or you can unmute and go ahead. Okay, Harshvardhan, you can go ahead, Harshvardhan. Make your question very brief and then we'll go for a wrap up. Let the question be to the point. Go ahead. Harshvardhan, proceed. You need to unmute.
I put my question in the chat.
Yeah, you can talk about it now that you are on.
You can go ahead and tell it quickly. No problem.
Okay, I'd like to know.
Is Paytm cryptocurrency? That's the question.
No, what's the question?
Whether the Paytm is a cryptocurrency. That is what is his question.
Paytm, no. Paytm is not a cryptocurrency. Paytm is a fintech company actually, which basically provides fintech related services to its particular clients. So it is not a bank. They are actually now going towards a Paytm bank. Earlier, when they launched, actually, it was supposed to be all in one, right? When people have to come either for shopping, they have a Paytm mall where you can do a shopping. Paytm, you can actually different things. You can buy funds now. Today, they have created another platform, Paytm Money, which basically, so it's basically a platform that they are going to create one after another, which basically allows you to do a particular service, right from a flight booking, travel booking, to experience, to shopping, to everything actually. And cryptocurrency, they are not, because at this point actually there is no India law which allows you to do cryptocurrency openly. So there is absolutely no cryptocurrency at this particular point. Of course, blockchain, are they using it? Yes, some of the particular technologies that they use on the platform, blockchain is one of the technology that they definitely use to make sure that the transactions are secure and transactions are well particular stuff. But as and when the cryptocurrency laws will be there in India, I'm sure Paytm will be one of the leaders or front runners to take up that space as well. Again, it's agility and speed at the end of the day.
Okay. Now another question, Siddharth, you will be the one, and I think with that, then we'll go ahead there. Siddharth, unmute and go ahead.
Could farming could be a reality by involving all the stakeholders and technology and making a good business in the field of organic farming?
Which farming is it? Organic farming. It is, man. You pay now more value to organic products than your chemical products, right? And earlier actually you used to get only organic products. There was nothing called chemical products or chemical agri products that was available.
How technology
today it's a big business actually. See, technology does play a role. So if you look at it actually today, if you buy an organic particular packet, you don't know whether it is truly organic or not, right? And that's where actually, if you want to find the source, you want to see where this particular raw material came for this particular product produce, and where it is basically sourced from, whether that particular farmer used any chemical stuff, is there record of anything else on that particular site. If you want to take entire history of that, what we call it actually farm to fork, right? That is where actually blockchain technology is getting used. So there is a technology play to that. But if you pay this whole technology has to be used which delivers result. You just simply use some technology which doesn't add value and just increases the value, the money of the product, then there is nobody in the supply chain that is going to give the extra money. So you as a consumer doesn't want to pay an extra money. Farmer doesn't want to pay an extra money. The in-between supply chain providers don't want to put extra money, right? So technology has to be used where there is a real purpose to use it. Otherwise, you'll use technology all over the place. So definitely there is organic farming. There is a big thing. I think there is a lot of innovations that are happening to make sure that the soil is kind of tested, the water is kind of tested, the chemicals that are produced, put there is getting tested, and the yield that comes out of that is getting tested actually to make sure it is organic and then certified organic and coming to the particular market, right? So of course, the entire chain, if you are able to put it on a technology, there is a huge scope of doing innovations.
Okay, I have a few more questions. I think Sandeep, we just go for the wrap up because our plan time is
Sure.
That should be fine.
Yes, perfect.
Yeah. Students, I think you could get to listen from Sandeep, being a hardcore industry professional, that what are all the technologies that are going to come and be there with us as a reality in next about say 9-10 years. I can only summarize based on the discussions and also with whatever little I know. Please understand 4-5 sectors are very, very hotcakes in the whole global market. One is, of course, pharmatech. I don't have to tell you. Fintech, and of course, edutech, education technology. And don't forget about agri-technology, because many a times it gets undermined in the wave of IT, ITS. But agri-tech is fast emerging very, very much. And of course, let us also not forget about a few other technologies. Basically, say, for example, some of the traditional practices are becoming main foray, even if you look into the health aspects now. Compared to the sanitizers, through the chemical-based, herbal-based have become a huge game changers into the entire system. That's what Swaraj is putting by technology. That's what I meant as agri-tech. Broadly, I put it together. So these are 4-5 sectors. So if you want to start your journey of a startup or entrepreneurship, probably these are, of course, ITS continues to be the tech leader. No dispute about it for anybody, any one of us for that matter.
So Dr. Nandish, the moment you added tech to all this particular industry, you have already involved IT into that actually. So there is no separation of IT.
Yeah. It's like a big brother. Without ITS, we can't think of any other. First the big move will be there, then the others will follow, just like that. Probably that was a nice point brought in from, So students, the journey is just beginning. Embrace the technology. Please understand what you really add a value that matters. It is not just the technology. How technology, using the technology or leveraging the technology, how do you add a value? That makes the huge differentiating factor. Probably I can only conclude with one simple example. Probably you'll be amazed to know that it was during last year May, if I remember correctly. IIM Bangalore conducted all the processes of their PGDM students. They conducted the convocation. They said, we'll send your certificate to your home by speed post. That's it. They were fastest to adopt the technology and also still give the best. And they called all the gold medalists. Dean and the board of governors presented. Times of India, big half newspaper came in. How fast you quickly adopt. Probably that is what comes to my memory quickly. How fast you really move, that makes the same. I think I made a proper sum up, Sandeep, if I'm right.
Yeah, absolutely. Actually, even the PPE is a great example. I think India would keep on talking about PPE kits. It was zero actually just before kit, and in 2 months we were one of the fastest producers and fastest scale.
Correct.
So the PPE kits that were made available.
in a whole Tirupur garment segments, small entrepreneurs geared up and they came out with a very, very cost effective in about 298.
Yes.
In fact, I was a part of one Rotary program where 298 rupees was the disposable PPE kit cost. So, yeah, we can only say world if opportunities are there at your feet, build up your competencies, core competencies plus technology. Make a good marriage of your core competency and technology skills. You have a bright future. Sandeep, on behalf of entire IBA family and our students fraternity here, they have also come out with quite interesting questions. That's very nice of you. We are very grateful from all of us for having taken time to come and share your experience. I'm just getting on thought. Once you are back to the campus, we'll pick up Sandeep's book, P.R.I.D.E. I'll be happy to have a book reading exercise and maybe we'll get him onto the campus. Probably that will be the first one.
Absolutely, and that's more closer to the heart, right? Because it's beyond.
Yes. Because you can share much deeper insights, and we'll have maybe a kind of a session which will be much more immersive and much deeper. Of course, you have shared a greater insights, no doubt about it. Especially emerging 30 technologies was a great personal learning for me. So thank you very much, and thank you once again for taking time for all of us.
Thanks a lot, Dr. Nandesh. Thanks, students. Actually,
We'll stay in touch.
For your journey. Yes, surely.
Yes.
Thanks a lot.
So, students, thanks a lot. Have a wonderful time ahead and get ready to get a good marriage of your core competencies plus technical skills, digital skills, whatever you call it. Okay. We'll get connected again with another series of a session. All the best.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Bye. I'm concluding the meeting. Okay.
Yes, sir. Thank you.